Thank you for signing up for a one-week trial of the Prop Firm Bundle. We're excited to have you on board, as the Prop Firm Bundle are the expert advisors and the methodology which we use ourselves to pass prop firms and get consistent payouts. In this short video, I want to show you how to install and backtest the expert advisors, as well as discuss a few key considerations you should be aware of to make your trial as productive as possible. So the most important thing to be aware of before we jump into the actual installation is that as these expert advisors are based on fundamental data, they won't necessarily all be trading on a given week or a given day. For instance, Longbow Fund Manager and Golden Longbow are both based on the Commitment of Traders report, so they receive a signal to enter the market every single week. However, if it's a week where they did not receive this signal, they might simply not be trading. The other expert advisors, German Longbow as well as American Longbow, both receive a signal from options data. So they receive a signal daily. So one day they can trade, one day they cannot trade, because options data updates daily. One thing to note is if Longbow Fund Manager, which is our flagship bot, does not trade on the week where you happen to be trialing, please let us know and we're more than happy to extend your trial for another week so that you get at least 1 week of Longbow trading in order to assess its performance. So please, we would encourage you to join our Telegram group as well as follow the EA leaderboard to see what is trading. Also, please reach out with any questions. There's no hesitation and we want to make your trial as productive as possible. But if you follow along in the Telegram group, the custom one, which should be included in the email which also sent you your license keys, you'll be able to receive real-time feedback as to what to expect on a given week. So now let's jump into the computer. Okay, when you received an email giving you access to the Prop Firm Bundle as well as your license keys, you should have been granted access to this Google Drive folder. In here, you'll see a few folders, including an installation and use guide. In this guide, the most important thing is that you grab the URL to keygen to be able to validate your license keys. The rest we can go over in this short video. So the orb strategy is some of our older expert advisors, which you can still use, but they're not the flagships at this moment. We would encourage you to go to the Longbow EA folder to get access to our top expert advisors, as well as the data for backtesting. What I would encourage you to do is download all of these files right here. You don't need to download the release notes, but all the expert advisors as well as the data for backtesting. As the EAs run on fundamental data, you need to actually have that data to be able to run a backtest. And here you can see we have either COT report historical data, or we have put-call ratios of options. If you're interested in seeing the source of this information, please just shoot me a message and I'm happy to send you to the URL to be able to validate any of this information for yourself. So you will download all of these on your device. The first thing which you will do is you will then open your MT5 terminal. When you enter your terminal, you can go into File, Open Data Folder, MQL5, and then Experts. Under Experts, you can then copy and paste all of your different EAs in this folder. So to repeat that, you will go into File, Data Folder, MQL5, Experts, and you will copy and paste your EAs in this particular folder. One thing to note is just put the EAs here. Do not put the data. Where you will put the data and the data for backtesting, that's a separate folder. You will go into IDE, so I'll go a bit slower now because this is a bit more unique. You'll go into IDE to open up the meta editor. Once you go to the meta editor, you will go into File, Open Common Data Folder. So not Data Folder, Common Data Folder. And then Files, and you will just copy and paste the files here. So one thing to note is for the COT data folder, please make sure that it's unzipped. Because if it's unzipped, you will be able to read it properly in the backtester. So the files which are not in the COT data folder should just be here, whereas the COT data folder should be a separate folder. Now to run a backtest, you would simply go here into your MT5 terminal under Strategy Tester. Let's grab Longbow Fund Manager V9. You can run it on the NASDAQ, for instance. Let's do 1 minute open, high, low, close to be quick. and we can press start. As you can see, it's a very profitable strategy, and if your strategy does not look something like this, please let us know, because perhaps you're having an issue with your backtester. In Journal, this is slightly out of date, but if we scroll up, you can see that it's successfully reading from your file, determining what asset to trade and making decisions from that. Now, if you were to load this onto a chart, let's pull this down, we can pick German Longbow, for instance, and grab it, pardon me, that's golden. German Longbow, grab it on the chart. You can see that you will need to enter your license key and your email here. And one thing to note is if you plan on using the AI functionality, you will need to enter a API key here for either Perplexity or Claude. And how you would get that key is you would simply go to Perplexity's website and you would sign up for a key. If you need any help with this, please let us know, because I'm more than happy to help and provide some additional guidance. So once again, that is how you would go about loading the Expert Advisor, backtesting the Expert Advisor, and some key considerations. If they're not trading effectively, there's probably a fundamental reason as to why. And if you're curious about that, please just message us. But also join the Telegram group for some additional support and guidance. If you fill all these things out, you should be able to just press OK, and it will load in the chart and run fully automatically. Also make sure that I will put some links in the description for web requests which you should allow. Please make sure you do that too, so that everything runs properly. Guys, hope you found this helpful, and please reach out with any questions. Take care.